Welcome to the Midlife Pilot Podcast. We are glad you're with us. What is it like to become a pilot in your 40s and 50s? The challenges are unique for those of us in midlife, but so are the rewards. Hosts Ben, Brian, and Ted talk learning to fly, growing as pilots, and the joy of flying to destinations. The purpose of the podcast is not to teach, but to share knowledge and experiences of being a midlife pilot. Join the Midlife Pilot community and listen in every week. We are not CFIs or particularly intelligent, so if you want to learn how to fly, talk to anyone else other than the hosts of a podcast. Even this intro was too challenging for us, and we used a robot to do it. Okay, checklists are complete. Let's get the show started.
Hello and welcome to episode 113 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast, where we share the experiences and the challenges and the adventures of flying in midlife. Whether you're a seasoned pilot, training for a rating, or just thinking about getting started in aviation, I like to think of the podcast as your aviation companion and your weekly dose of aviation inspiration. Tonight's going to be a information whiskey free-for-all, Ballyhoo. Pick your adjective. My name is Ben, and I am an IFR-rated, commercially certified pilot based in the Metro Atlanta, flying a Cessna 182, sometimes referred to as the Beast. And joining me tonight, as always, and for those of you watching us on YouTube, which we stream Monday nights at 8 p.m., you can see that my subtitle is sleep-deprived. We'll get into that in a minute, and that's why I'm stumbling over my words. All that to say, joining me tonight, my friend Brian Siskin, private pilot in Nashville, home of the Bachelorette Super Charlie, flying a beautiful red and white Cherokee 180 we call Lucy. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Glad to be here. Excited about, talking about whatever, information whiskey style. I always look forward to these, so I'm excited.
Very cool. Also joining us on the West Coast, the best coast, based in Portlandia, flying a flight design CTLS. We like to call the egg. It's our friend, Ted. Good evening, sir.
Hey, glad to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you.
My brain does like the snap to grid thing where as you say 180, I'm waiting for you to say 182 every time. It sounds so weird. It's to be missing that last little bit.
I like to just keep it at 180 because, the 182 is two better, I guess, mathematically speaking. Great start to the show already. Again, sleep deprived. It should be easy to pick on me tonight.
So I'm seeing reports that my volume is way up. That seems strange. It's the same as it always is set.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just be louder for now.
Yes. Okay. Wendy, you get more of Brian. Yeah.
My apologies.
We got a great group in the chat tonight. So I wanted to thank everybody for joining us, and wanted to remind everybody May 2nd through the 4th in the year of our Lord 2025, we will be holding the Big Texas Send. Tango 82 is in Fredericksburg, Texas, Gillespie County Airport. And we have, I got to say, we're pretty overwhelmed with the response that we've gotten so far, and we're still 3 months away from it. So join us. Go to our website at midlifepilotpodcast.com, and you'll see an RSVP link, and tell us who's coming, where you're coming from, all the stuff. You'll see the form in there you can fill out.
I was realizing we should have put above the form, say intentions. But 75 people. We have a little ticker here. The audio audience is not going to see this, but 75 people, 36 airplanes, and then we have it all broken down so far by make and model of airplane. And there's some very special findings that we were just curious. I wonder what the makeup is so far of attendees in terms of planes that are attending. And right now we are at a 2-to-1 ratio of low wing to high wing planes that are going to be present at Tango 82 May 2nd through the 4th. So right now Low Wing Army is representing.
Yeah, that really surprised me. I just assumed it was going to be equal, but then you look at it and you're like, okay, well, there's a bunch of RVs and obviously a bunch of Pipers, especially Comanches. And it's
well,
like, okay.
I gotta say though, the RVs is probably triggering a lot of that. But Brian used AI to calculate all this, and I think I might have to go back through and just manually calculate it because and if it is true, then high wingers unite, assemble.
Yes,
meet us at Tango 82, May 2nd through the 4th. So
it's gonna be awesome. We've been really lucky to have the folks there, so communicative with us and helping, and people reaching out, and the local EAA people, and FBOs and hotel, and just everybody's been working together nicely with us, and so I'm super thrilled to see that kind of teamwork, because I don't want to feel like we're in imposition. I don't want to just show up and they feel like, oh gosh, all these people are here, this is a drag or something. They're really enthusiastic about this community showing up, which is really cool, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, both people, kind of at the hotel, the businesses, but also the locals who have been helping us out and talking about restaurants and logistics and things like that. It's like, that's one of the hard things is if you don't have somebody on the ground we're trying to put on an event. So it's been really nice.
Don't hold me to this, but my goal is by the next Information Whiskey, we'll have a lot more set in the plans where we can be a lot more descriptive into where we're going, what we're going to do, podcasting, and all of that. So
yeah.
Mr. Siskin, do you want to tell everybody about the belly scrubbing?
Yeah, we'll do the belly scrub. Housekeeping. We are grateful for you all making this the best pilot community that we know of. A positive space where we share everything from training experiences, share personal minimums, tackle ownership challenges, review flight plans, and best of all, make new aviation friends. Connect with us on Patreon, $1 a month or one-time annual Patreon, 25 cents per episode. We sure hope that it's worth it. If it's not, thank you for even just listening. We really, if it's sort of like a car crash, you just can't turn away, then I understand. Access exclusive content, including check ride debriefs, killing zone conversations, and more on Discourse. A lot of content there. 10% supports Freedom Aviation Network's anti-human trafficking efforts. Watch us live on YouTube Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern, and share your stories with us. midlifepilotpodcast@gmail.com. We read all the messages. You might hear yourself on the show. You can also just go to our website if you want to drop us something. For everything Midlife Pilot Podcast, community, feedback, merch, and more, we have Big Texas Send shirts. We have dad hats and mugs and pint glasses and all kinds of stuff. Visit midlifepilotpodcast.com. And I'll say too, just we don't really make anything on that stuff. It's priced as minimally as we can do it, essentially, and we would not call it a profit center.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
It's to make it as easy as we can to get the enthusiasm out there, and so that's all it is. But so anyway, that's the belly scrub.
Thank you.
It's a guess on the math that hopefully we're not losing big money on something. We kind of just try to guess, after fees and everything else, that this should balance out. Maybe make 10 cents. So that's the goal.
Very good. Ted, how about some community updates and new Patreon members?
Yeah. It's nice to see some new people in Patreon. At the Landomatic level, we have Falcon Kurt, who I believe is joining us in Texas.
About 10 minutes ago.
And he's actually in our chat, I just noticed.
Nice.
Oh, great. At the Hershey Bar level, we have Oliver P., Chris M., and Eric W. So nice to have those people join us. Discord has been active. It's been the last couple of months have been very active, and it's been fun to see and dip in and see what's going on. But I wanted to give some shout outs. Alex F. Got their high performance and complex endorsements.
Yeah.
Scott W. did his first cross country in his RV9A.
Awesome.
He made sure to tell me when we put in the creeper bot that it is a 9A. He doesn't want to be thought of as a tailwheel person or, be stealing valor on that.
More on that later.
Yeah. And Hotel Charlie Papa did their first sightseeing flight through the PDX airspace and sent a picture. And that was either in 317 Victor Alpha or the new RV12 at the school that I trained at as well. So,
by the way, you mentioned something called CreeperBot, and it occurred to me that we don't ever talk about CreeperBot on the show. So perhaps give people a little bit of insight as to the CreeperBot.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we're liable to drive people away from the podcast instead of bringing them to us.
Well, that's why you have me on the podcast is to drive some people away and attract others. So yeah, So the CreeperBot is an app that I wrote, borrowed some stuff that I'd written before, and it tracks airplanes of everyone who wants to be on it in our group. So basically, you see every day or every other day when Alyssa flies, and then you see when Brian's up and when Ben is up, or when Ben's brother-in-law has the plane on a rare occasion. And so it's a really cool feed to see who's been flying over the weekend and all of that.
Well, I think you're undershooting this a little bit. So, and you did make it clear that this is voluntary. We don't just, it's not,
yeah.
You don't sign up for Patreon and we don't go hunt down your tail number and then put it in there. It is voluntary. And for those of you that are in the Discord already and didn't know about CreeperBot or just wondered, how do I get in there? Just, Ted's home phone number is, but the cool thing about it is it actually, when it comes up in the thread, it immediately tells you, altitude, speed, ground speed, heading, and then it provides direct links to FlightAware and what are the other two?
ADSB.lol and maybe ADSB.fi and just some of the open source sites. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really neat. So if you know that one of us is going on a trip, or something, and you see that come up, you go, oh yeah, I want to just keep an eye on them. So I don't know. It's just a neat thing. I don't know. It doesn't really serve any function. We're not going to call you and ask you to close your flight plan.
And again, BitShifter in the chat says, bump up your contribution to avoid CreeperBot.
We're coming for you with CreeperBot.
That's right. No, this is completely voluntary.
Well, I've even put people in there that are on a temporary cross-country trip in a rental plane, and that may be coming to the bot pretty soon, actually. The ability to say, track me on this plane for the next 24 hours. But we've done it, by hand when we know people have been going on trips, and that's always fun.
I think it's funny too. It's like that Louis C.K. bit where he talks about that famous bit he had where it was about being on a plane and the internet's down and somebody's complaining that the internet is down. Just this insanely amazing thing that you're doing, and
you're going from California to LA in 3 hours, and you're complaining about not having internet.
You just learned that there was internet on the plane, and then when you found out it didn't work, now you're upset. And I think it's a little bit like that. Nobody's been upset, but I do think it's funny though when people say, Ted, I flew yesterday and I didn't see myself on the CreeperBot, or whatever. And now you've got to go and figure out why,
Yeah. It's like, oh, you've got the U avionics transponder apparently, that only sends a signal once every hour,
Yeah, mine is one of those, you can't fly unless you're in the United States, and it will not show up unless you're above about 1,000 AGL in most places. You've got to be but it drives people crazy that are watching me to figure out if I made it to where I'm going, because it just always, FlightAware from my plane is just, forget about it. It looks like if I ever end up on a Blanco Lirio thing, it's not going to make any sense. I'm just putting this out there now. If God forbid anything happened, I'm just saying, do not trust the data that you're seeing unless it's a really perfectly smooth descent at exactly 500 feet per minute. That's accurate, but everything else is inaccurate.
It's gonna show you like you're point A to point B, and it was like a 12,000 foot drop, and you're 12,000 per minute drop. He goes, I don't know why ASB is telling us this because that's physically impossible, but that's what's going to show up on yours.
Yeah, well, it also, what it does is it'll sometimes just say, because it also is set FlightAware, you can get the email alerts. And so,
right.
My wife will get these alerts. And so that's how she kind of knows I've probably landed. I mean, I also text her, but I'm just saying if I forget or whatever, there are times where it looks like I diverted, and it'll actually register and close loop that flight as being at an airport that's a private airport that's 20 miles away.
Yeah. All right. So what we're saying is we need a GoFundMe to get Brian a halfway decent transponder ADSB in and out. So, and I do like John S's. He's in our joining us, who is on the other side of the pond. So he is up late, and we appreciate that. He says, beware, CreeperBot can create a little bit of flight time envy, especially when one is stuck on the ground in rainy, gloomy London. So we do appreciate you joining us tonight. We did get a review that I thought I would read. Are y'all game for that?
Yeah.
So this is from our friend Peter T., who is in the chat. 5 stars.
Yes.
Naturally. Yes. He states, non-pilot here, but aviation lover for my entire life. Got here from another aviation podcast and have been hooked ever since. Ben, Brian, and Ted talk all things midlife pilot related, and trust me, the whole midlife thing is a real thing in so many ways. New topics on this weekly podcast keeps things fresh, and listeners can enjoy a great support group on their Discord server. Subscribe and catch the live show to get the full experience.
The full experience.
Yeah, thanks,
and that's
Peter.
what we're all about, is the full experience.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Peter, for that review. That does help us. Please send us your reviews. Go to wherever you get your podcast and click the 5 stars. And it may be hard, but try to say something nice.
Yeah, or even if it's 5 stars and just say, be honest. You can you say whatever you want, but just make it 5 stars.
Yeah.
By the way, I see our friend Nathan Ballard in the chat. I just want anybody who hasn't listened to last week's episode, please go back and listen to it. What a story. Really enjoyed having Nate on last week. Please go check out his YouTube channel. Watch the series he's making right now, where he's pulling lessons from military aviation into general aviation. He's suffering. He's suffered for all of us. He's grayed out. He's been all through it. And I actually I don't listen to our own podcast because I was there, but that one actually went back and listened to because I wanted to hear what Nate was saying again. It's really great, and it's going to be an ongoing tale that he is telling on his YouTube channel. So if you're not in on it, go back, listen, and then go check it out. And then the last thing I want to say about that is I really appreciated what Nate said about, I want people to see these videos that I'm making about this, not in the, self-interest of getting subscribers and likes and all of that. I mean, it's fine if you do, Nate, but really what it was about was they burned whatever he said, 4,000 pounds of fuel, because they wanted to give him a real experience and really give him lessons to bring back to us. And so if the military is doing that much to try to get messages through to general aviation, and Nate is that messenger, please do them the honor of going to check that stuff out, share it with your friends, get him as many views as you can, so that, like, what's the sequel going to be, Nate?
Well, I was about to say, it's his channel has kind of become appointment TV for me. When I get notified by YouTube, most of the time I'm dropping what I'm doing and I'm going to go see what he posted. And with this series coming up, I might have to stop the airplane. I might have to go land somewhere and download the video and then take back off and watch it in the air or something. But I'm very curious to hear what comes out next. So
42911, where are you diverting? YouTube.
Don't you know Nathan Ballard just released another video? Duh. So anyway.
Hey, Ben.
Yes.
Have you done any flying this week?
This week, I have not. I leave tomorrow on a fun work journey, but no, I've been busy taking a 5-month-old puppy out at 3:00 in the morning, and I don't believe that the sleep deprivation is not good for me to get behind the yoke of an airplane.
You pay for cuteness.
I mean, the only difference in raising a dog and raising a child is you only have to feed the dog twice a day. I'm absolutely convinced of that.
It's all the same.
Ted,
have you been up?
I have. Yeah. I had about 6 weeks. There was almost no flying. There were, I think, 2 flying days in there, but
then you went crazy last weekend.
Did a little bit last weekend. I did that big flight last weekend. But yeah, I changed my oil on Saturday and cleaned the belly. Speaking of belly scrubs, because I was tired of seeing it in the video.
It's funny. I noticed it in your video.
So that last oil change, it's 50 hours on oil changes, and it was somewhat overfilled. And that's the only way that I lose oil in that plane is too much oil. It's not like y'all where you have 10 quart capacity and you only fill it to 5, otherwise it burns it off. It's 3 liters, 3 quarts. But it was sitting at like 3.5, and it was actually just like burping out every once in a while. So that's the messiest the belly's been, and it's been like that most of the summer. And so I just hated seeing that in the video.
You have really high end 4K footage of it.
Yeah.
It's in the foreground.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
I thought it was meant for the effect. I commented on your YouTube channel where there was a shot from the tail camera that had some body of water that was reflecting the clouds, and you couldn't really see the belly, in my opinion, but it was shadowed a bit. But I paused that video there and took a screen grab. I just thought it was absolutely magnificent. And
the scenery.
I thought the belly was supposed to be dirty because it just kind of blended in with everything else.
And you're not focusing on it. It's all I can see. But yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah, the scenery that you fly through is absolutely outrageous and totally worth the long spells of bad weather. I promise you.
Well, and we've had this really high pressure. My friend noted that it was 3068.
Wow.
I've been seeing like 3050 a lot. And so it's just blue skies. It's about right around freezing all the time. But it's super clear, and it's been really nice to fly in. So, so yesterday I went down to Salem, picked up my friend, and went up to Seattle and went to BFI, Boeing Field, to go to the flight museum, the big Boeing flight museum, of course. They've got a Concorde.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we lost Ted. He's gone.
SR-71.
Now he's back.
With the drone.
Oh, now he's back.
Yeah. So they've got lots.
All right, Ted, your internet is suffering. Let's let him know.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, why don't you go ahead? Yeah.
All right. Brian, have you been flying?
Yes, I have. Nothing crazy. I've been cooped up. It's been real busy around here with all sorts of calamities, house calamities. But Saturday was nice. I got up there in the afternoon or in the sort of evening, flew to Indiana for absolutely no reason. Went to Evansville, turned around, came right back. I just wanted to fly at night. I wanted to fly in peace. And I definitely had that. It was awesome.
How far is Evansville from you?
I was going to ask
Not
that.
far.
Yeah.
Maybe 90 miles.
In my brain, it's like halfway up Illinois.
Yeah, it's really not.
Okay, I
very
believe you.
quiet, very quiet class Charlie. It's sort of what you were saying, Ted, beforehand is about getting the weather, 60 miles out or whatever. I knew that Evansville was not busy when I want to say either 40 or 50 miles out. And they were already telling me to set up for a left downwind to run away 1.8. And it actually made me a little unnerved because have you ever had that just weird feeling where you just think, wait a minute, I have confirmation biased my way through my GPS, my iPad, everything. I am going to some other airport. I have done something wrong equally in every place, and everything that I've looked at is just wrong because why would they be? And they were asking me so far out to set up for a left downwind for 1.8. I just kept thinking, it caused a bit of an existential dilemma for a minute. And then I just realized, wow, these people just have nothing else going on.
Do they think that I'm on right base? Yeah.
I think the next question I would have asked him was, so you want me on a 60 mile 45 diagonal into the left base? Is that what you're asking?
That's exactly what I was. I was a 60 mile. I was on the 60 mile 45 for the left downwind runway 1.8. And then it happened again about 30 miles out. And I just thought, wow, these people are really anxious to make a call and give an instruction. There was really nothing going on. And of course, as I'm coming in, I end up on opposing bases with another Cherokee 180, for which I had to extend. And I just thought, of all the nothingness that's going on at this airport, the quietest class Charlie I've ever seen. Of course, there's nothing going on anywhere except for two Cherokees on opposing bases. But anyway, it was great. I just did some relaxation air therapy flying. It wasn't anything. It wasn't a big deal. But Ben, please continue. I'm sorry. Did we cut you off?
No, you didn't cut me off.
Oh,
no. So for those in our audio audience, Ted
you're not Ben. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. Ted has not been under his name tag, and it's really throwing me off. So when you refer to not Ben, I figure you're talking, I don't know. Again, sleep deprived.
I cut Ted off.
You cut not Ben off. Yes.
Yeah. With my.
Well, you guys are not making it easy here.
No, Ted's not making it easy. It's his.
Hey, it's information whiskey. I'm going to label myself however I want. So
go for it. Tell us, finish. So you were telling us,
went to Boeing Field. Which is, OB talks about it quite a bit because it's between a Bravo airport and a Delta, and it's a Delta, and the missed approach procedure for it is very particular. You can only climb to 1,500 feet because you've basically got a tunnel of airspace under the approach for SeaTac, which is the Bravo. And it's these three airports. It's really, the airspace is just amazingly complex. But yeah, I flew into there, went to the museum for the day, and had a great time. It's where the paint booth is, or one of the paint shops for Boeing, and so we saw a United 737 Max that, after looking up later, it obviously came out of paint the day before, and we also saw a primered 737 Max that came from Renton, the next airport down where they make 73s, and was obviously coming into the paint shop. So it was strange to have 73s doing basically pattern work, because it's like, wait, didn't I just see that land? And he did a taxi back and took off again. It was kind of wild. So, it was, and the United 73 was running up their engines on the taxiway. So I elected not to turn onto the taxiway as you can just see the heat coming out of this thing. And I was a little nervous about that, but
I'll bet.
And I don't know if you know who Bruce Williams is, Bruce Air Flying. He puts out good videos. He donated his extra 300 to AOPA. And he actually publishes the VFR reference for that airport, and heard his voice when I was taking off. So it's kind of fun to, recognize a voice of somebody famous on the internet like that.
What color is the primer? Is it gray or is it?
It's green.
Green, yeah.
And it looked like a junkyard plane because the greens don't match. The doors are a different color of green. Some of them are even a primer yellow, because these things aren't all done at the same factory, and it doesn't matter if the primer colors match or not. But I wish I had a picture of it. I didn't have a great picture. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So it was a good trip, and it's cold, but nice and fast, flying, and, so I had a really good time.
Well, do you want to, who wants to do the introduction to our not topic tonight, but perhaps our area of highlight and focus, which I'm very excited about, and no one is going to see this coming.
Let me talk about it for a minute.
Oh, you both at the same time. Pick a lane.
Go for it.
Let me do a little bit. I'm going to throw to you, Ben, to finish it. But we have this topic sheet that we try to have an idea of what we're going to talk about on the show. And it's part of where Information Whiskey comes from is we can just talk. We don't have to have a topic. We don't have to think about it. We just drink a little bit. And one thing that's been on there for a long time has been the official plane of X. And can we have fun with stereotyping airplanes? So Brian did some work on that. And Ben, you have more to say about that?
Yeah. So it's, I'll give an example, and this is at our website, midlifepilotpodcast.com/blog. And there's also a link on the landing page of midlifepilotpodcast.com. But we've gone through, and I'll just pull out an example. I'm going to leave Brian's alone because I want to save that one for later. So here's one, the Cessna 177 Cardinal. It's the official plane of the nose gear shimmy is a feature. The VTEL Bonanza, I just saw that one a second ago. It's here it is. Sorry, give me 1 second. There it goes. Yes, I know about the VTEL Dr. Killer reputation, but I went to Harvard Medical School. There are a lot of these. There are planes on here that I'd never heard of prior to this that I had to go look up. But I thought we'd kind of go around the table and y'all can pull out some of your favorite ones. And I just wanted to pick on Brian because this was just so perfect for him. The Cessna 140, the official airplane of I lecture about stick and rudder at parties.
And then the Cessna 120 is what?
The official airplane of 140 pilots are too fancy.
Well, there's so many on here. We invite everyone to send us. The goal here is this is not the definitive list. We're calling it the ultimate official airplane of guide. But we want this to be the most comprehensive hilarity on the internet. And so you give it to us, we will put it in there. So if you got one, there can be multiples for one plane. Right now we got 2 for the Piper Cub. The Piper Cub, the official airplane of I judge you for GPS. And the others, the Piper Cub, the official airplane of I have strong opinions about kids these days and their glass cockpits.
That is so accurate.
Yeah. And I really like this one too. Piper Lance, the official airplane of Cherokee with a God complex.
Ted, I think you should. I don't know if you have it pulled up, but or Brian maybe, because I picked on you with your Cessna 140. You can pull the Skylane out of there, and because it hits a little close to home.
Yeah, I've got that pulled up. There's two for the 182. It's the official airplane of I'm compensating for something with all this useful load. That is fantastic. And the other one is the official airplane of my midlife crisis was too expensive for a Corvette. That is fantastic.
I like One Dog Geek's got one in the comments. One Dog Geek says Piper Cherokee 235, the official airplane of bowling ball collectors. That's awesome.
This one resonated. This one, because we did leak this out in the community. So this is Piper Cherokee, the official airplane of this dent was there when I bought it. So good. And also like, they're pretty accurate. I mean, Piper Comanche, the official airplane of this will definitely appreciate in value.
The Pilatus PC-12. I'm not rich. I'm just heavily leveraged.
That one is the one that I was thinking that needs a lot of improvement. Because to me, the PC-12 is like the most practical, single engine turbine. Like you can fly it anywhere. Relative to its price, it's really affordable. Everything else kind of pales in comparison to a very boring plane. And so there's something that one's missing to capture that.
Rockwell Commander, the official airplane of I enjoy explaining to mechanics why parts aren't available anymore.
Yes. Did you see a Cicada TB-20? The official airplane of French engineering, American repair bills.
That's awesome. We got some more in the chat. Pete at Niner Systems, Cessna Cardinal, 177 Cardinal, official plane of nose wheel landings.
Wow.
That's a good one. We'll need to add that one.
Diamond HK36, the official airplane of glider pilot with a trust fund. The Diamond ones I think are really funny because they're all like Diamond DA50, the official airplane of I sold my Bitcoin at the right time.
Yeah, I noted a couple of those. Diamond DA20, the official airplane of my parents bought the flight school.
I like Lord Alpha Juliet said not rich but heavily leveraged is TBM all day. So our official is the official plane of the TBM 900, the official airplane of I need you to know my hourly rate.
We got where's Erica? Yeah,
I know. So please, the ones that are throwing these in the chat, please also email them to us or something because we won't be able to collect them out of here very well. And we want to add all of them. So make your own lists and send them. But
we have a secret fourth host who is collecting them already. So thank you, Wendell Geek, for doing the behind the scenes work that he always does for us. So it's fantastic.
Diamond DA40, the official airplane of I vape in the pattern.
How about the Cessna 337, the official plane of push me, pull you, break the bank?
Oh, yeah. And when you hear those descriptions, you realize what the plane is, right? Like, right. You can picture that plane now because of that.
Yeah. Okay, now we need to have a vast list for Cirrus. We got to start on Cirrus, but that's going to be, I think there'll probably be about 30 for each Cirrus model eventually here. We open always that lane up, but I love this one. Cirrus SR-22, the official airplane of I plan my flights around Whole Foods locations.
Did Josh M just get a chill up his back hearing that? Yes.
The other one we have for the SR-22 is the official airplane of the parachute handle is my emotional support animal, which works very, very well.
I'm not. We don't hate on Cirrus drivers.
No, we love our Cirrus drivers.
Yes, for sure.
the Beechcraft Queen Air, the official airplane of King Air's embarrassing uncle.
I wrote down the King Air, the official airplane of my company definitely needs this.
Yeah, and what is the tail wheel that Nate was talking about, Ben?
It's called an American Traveler, I believe, is the official name of it.
The official airplane of identity crisis in aircraft form. Is that what that one is?
I don't think it's an AA5, but I may be wrong. It's like a Champ.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see what we got in Citabria. It's not a Citabria.
The Belanca Citabria is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. The official airplane of intentional spins are my therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Peter is asking us what's in there for the Cessna 150, and that is the official airplane of two people, no dignity. Also, the official airplane of two people, no luggage, and still over gross weight. But you can also go to the 152, the official airplane of ramen noodle dinner flights, and the official airplane of character building through mechanical failures. So I like that.
Oh, well,
That's
the
awesome.
Cessna 162. Now, isn't that the Flycatcher?
That's the Flycatcher, yes. Yeah.
The official airplane of we have a 152 at home.
The Rainier Flight School out of Seattle has a fleet of those for whatever reason. They must have bought like 30 of them, probably, pre-purchased them at a good price. And so I was on the field and I was like, what is that Cessna with a window, like flat on the back, like skylight type window? I walked up to him and was like, oh, okay. I remember that plane. That's a 162. So,
Is the only time you flew that was in Nashville?
Yeah. And the only reason I flew it was for the fly-in. I had no interest in buying one because I was in my period of looking for planes I was interested in buying. But I wanted to fly when I was there. And you remember who checked me out in that plane?
I do.
Sam.
Yes.
Sam. Yep.
CFI Sam.
CFI Sam. I haven't heard from him much. Have to hear from Sam and Eric and know how Sam's doing.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
When you flew that, I knew it probably wasn't on your radar, but were you like, this is now officially way off my list. I'm not going to touch a Skycatcher.
Oh yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. It's very much a plane. It is very plane shaped. That's as far as it goes.
Is it as in terms of the room inside, is the CTLS much more roomy than that one?
It's the CT is a little bit wider. And it's just more luxury with leather and stuff, but it's not too far off either.
I just remember
two-seaters are always, yeah.
I just remember sitting in the Flycatcher that you had, that you were renting that time. I remember getting in it, and it was so strange to me because my legs were just going straight.
Yeah.
You're sitting, you might as well just be sitting on the floor and stretching your legs out flat. There was no...
The seat is more of a backrest with a pad than it is a seat. To what you're saying, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
But you do have support for the back, and that's all that it's really there.
Yeah.
Is the CTLS like that?
It is. It's
Very
a fairly
flat.
common thing is yes, you're sitting closer to on the floor than sitting up in a seat. Certainly, the 182 is the complete opposite of that, with very square upright seats. And yeah, the 162 for sure is that way. Yeah.
Is Alpha Juliet quoting you, Ted?
Yes, he
Yes,
is. Yes. Yeah.
It's very plane shaped. That's as far as it goes.
I want to call out Pete again, has another good one. Redbird, official plane of we need a new A&P.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really good one. But
you could also say the CFI is too hungover to fly. Yeah.
yeah,
The Grumman Yankee, the official airplane of Tiger on food stamps.
Now the Tomahawk was in there. I wrote that one down. The official airplane of spin training, whether you want it or not. Which, some of those go to the what they're infamous for, whether it's true or not. But that's definitely I think that's true with the V-tail and the Tomahawk both, I guess.
The Chaparral, the official airplane of wood and metal. What could go wrong?
I like the Maul M7, the official airplane of my other car is a monster truck. Hell yeah.
My goodness. Well, please go to our website, check out the blog. We've got a couple of things on there. We did an episode about apps, sort of an apps guide for midlife pilots, and we compiled all that. And we created we called it the Appy Hour Special.
That's right.
Yeah. So we did the Appy Hour Special, and then we just built a pretty solid list of things that we talked about and more. So if you're looking for just weather resources, flight analysis tools, all that, starting to try to use this blog to catalog some of the things that we're, taking the time to dig out. And then we also have a recap of our infamous non-event episode 100, recorded in a hangar with our friend Chris in West Virginia. We did it for the pepperoni rolls.
Yes.
So
yes, we did.
Do you remember how I've never seen that many chili dogs happen in one place at one time.
So it's an interesting comment that you make there, because I don't think I've eaten that many chili dogs at one time. And I really did expect some gastronomical emergencies. But
retribution.
It didn't happen. It never happened. It's like makes me want to go back up there and go eat 12 more.
Yeah.
Or we can just go to Muscle Shoals and go to the what did you call it? Burdettes?
Bunions.
Bunions, yeah. Yeah.
Bunions really vital for you.
Gosh, man. No, so now I'm hungry because just thinking about Bunions. They're not open on the weekends. It makes it tough.
It really does. I'm very put out about that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get you there. We'll get you there. Do we have anything else, guys? Are we good, or how are we feeling?
I think we're feeling pretty good. I know. I want to reiterate May 2nd through the 4th. We want you to come out and visit with us and meet us. It's shaping up to be a huge event. We've got more things that we're working on, some more details for the weekend. And we've already kind of, on the website, in the RSVP, we kind of laid out a few itineraries that you could take if you want to on Saturday. But we're hoping to maybe record the podcast Saturday afternoon and then meet up somewhere in Fredericksburg for dinner. Informal, no planned menu or anything. Everybody's on their own, and just kind of hang for a while.
It always works out.
Now, Brian, are you scheduling your annual around this trip?
No, the annual's got to be done by then because annual's in March now.
It's in March, yeah.
And I just received
April.
confirmation from Stuart. We're putting the beast into annual in March.
Oh, nice.
Do you not want to mess with that at all?
Yeah, and I told my shop, look, we're doing this early in the month because I don't want to risk it being late in the month and having any problems. So
I do have one other announcement about the fly-in. I'm about 99% sure that my better half is going to join us.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
finally we have one of these where you're being supervised.
If you want any good scoop, it doesn't really take much to get Terry to open up and spill all the embarrassing beans. So, no, it should be fun. She's excited about it. Every time I come upstairs, she goes, "What are the numbers?" She's invested in it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is.
By the way, Geek is on a roll in the chat. Can we just hit him up real quick for these, and then we got to get out of here? But these are so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with let's see. Here we go. Cherokee 140, the official plane of never exceeding the white arc. And then we have Technum 2010, official airplane of no, seriously, put jet fuel in it. And then Mountain Rat Matt has a good one that I wanted to share. Sorry. The SR20, official plane of people that like to pay too much for their PPL.
Oh. Or maybe it's more like can.
That's
Yeah.
So these are good. We'll be putting these up. Thanks, One Del Geek, for grabbing all these. We appreciate it. And I think that'll about do it. What else? Anything else for the good of the order?
No, just a reminder that we want your feedback. Send us email, midlifepilotpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, please come up with a better entry for PC12. I think there's a lot more to gain from that.
Very good. Well, everybody in the chat, we really do appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah.
And if you're in the audio audience, join us Monday nights, 8 p.m., youtube.com/@midlifepilotpodcast. And you can join the fun. And not a lot of people were making fun of me tonight, which I thought I was providing some low-hanging fruit. But everybody was being very nice. So speaking of that, and in my current state of mind of sleep depravity, tonight's wit and wisdom is the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. So with that, we'll sign off episode 113 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast. Good night, everybody.